Brookings Radio, good day. We are joined in studio by Dr. Summer Schultz, Superintendent of Schools here in the Brookings School District. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for stopping by. Happy to be resuming these again.
Yeah.
We had a school board meeting earlier this week. Pretty routine, but there were a couple things that were kind of interesting. Some stuff happening at the high school. Could you update us about some exciting news on the science rooms?
Yeah, a lot of people have heard me talking about our intent to renovate our science area, and we are at the phase now that we have we're in that final stage of schematic design work, and even yesterday our science staff were able to work with the architects on more individualizing the plans with sinks and cabinetry and that sort of thing. So we are getting so much closer to being able to put this project out for bids, and we're still on track for hopefully an early winter turnaround for that.
Now, the science rooms, those are the oldest rooms in the high school building?
You know, I can't even tell you, to be honest, if they're the oldest. One of the things that as those science areas, as our instruction and the outputs we want for kids in those spaces have changed over the years, that environment, the educational environment, just sometimes also needs to adapt as well. And those spaces, they are part of that older piece of the high school. There's others that we are looking at too that fall in that same area, but we really wanted to be able to focus on this area along with some piping and restroom components to the project possibly. So we're making a lot of good progress on it.
For those who aren't familiar with the high school building, you mentioned there the restrooms in that part of the building are like right next to, they're adjacent, they share walls with the science rooms.
They do.
It's all one project then for renovations?
It makes sense. We know there's spaces in that high school that need updating, need improving. And so if we are going to be doing the work, science renovations are some of the most expensive in schools because of the infrastructure. And so if we are already going to be in with the gas and sewer water lines, we might as well take a look at those restrooms also. Right now, there's restrooms on both sides, in a sense, east and west in that area. And we're looking at combining them into just one area and making some changes. One of the things I talked about at the board meeting, though, was that piping infrastructure. We really need to be looking at that as the facility grew. The piping infrastructure didn't keep up at the same capacity rates at times. And so we want to make sure that if we also need to do some improvements to that underneath, that we get that done at the same time. It's not near as fun, and we'd rather be doing it on renovating more rooms in that space, but we want to make sure the infrastructure supports it.
Now, is the renovation work going to have any impact on students in class throughout the school year?
That's a good question. One of the things we are looking at, and that we'll need to stay on schedule with the process of opening up for bids and that sort of thing. But just like with the boiler project, we're wrapping up. The demo is loud. It's messy. It is hard on students and staff when demo work is happening. And when you think of all of the demo work that would need to happen in a project like this, it's possible that we are going to push the start until summer rather than spring, when contractors would probably rather get started. Which could mean that we would have a displaced science area for fall of 2026 for a few months. But I don't know that those individuals would complain too much if they were going to be going into brand new spaces. But the demo work is just loud and it's messy. So unlike the boiler project where we were up against timeline of winter weather, I think the plan will make more sense to push the start into summer, allowing for demo to happen when kids are out of the building, and then displace them potentially in the fall, because it is just too too big of a project for just the summer months.
Now, you mentioned the boiler project. That was a long time coming.
Oh,
We're
it was.
almost there, just in time for, I don't want to say cold weather and snow
Right.
is coming, but it will.
It will. Soon you and I will be talking about closings, school closings.
But the boiler is going to be up and running in right around the corner.
Yes, I believe October 6th is the official startup. That is, like you say, that 1969 boiler had long outlived its life expectancy, and so it served us well as a district, that's for sure. But the official startup will be October 6th, and then with all these projects, we still have older air handlers and that sort of thing that we're replacing, but it's going to be great having a new boiler.
Yeah, the lion's share of the work is done.
It is
and
done.
Those high schoolers, they will have heat this
They
winter.
will. They will. Absolutely.
I remember last year you said something about, thank heavens the boiler started
Yes.
at the beginning of fall.
I will tell you, Jay, that when I came to Brookings and just really dug into that system at the high school, I tell you what, you've never seen such a piece of equipment. I mean, maybe you have, but I was nervous. I was nervous every time I would look at the temperature, and starting it up for the first time last year. I just wasn't sure if it was gonna do it, but it hung in there for an extra year for us.
Well, some good positive news there at the high school.
Yes.
Other thing I'd like to talk a little bit about, I don't know that much about this, so you have to walk me through it, but Brookings is partnering with Smart Social for this school year. Can you tell me what that is?
Yes, in our work last year with cell phones and social media and all of the pieces that come with the technology our students have in their hands, whether it's at school or at home, just the generational trend of social media. We know that some negative effects of that happen. And we also know that as educators, as parents in our community, often we're the last to know exactly what kids are doing on those. And it's not that they're trying to be sneaky. It's just that their level of understanding and growth happens much quicker than ours. So Smart Social, we were able to partner with them with this year. And I just really encourage every family, parent, community member, adult who wants to be able to get to all the resources and the access that we have. They just need to make a district account, and then they can go in, they can watch videos and learn on different things that relate to them. Maybe they want to know things that are going on in certain apps, social media apps, whether that be TikTok, Facebook. I don't know that kids are on Facebook near as much anymore. I think that's just old people at this point. But also the latest thing that we just sent out, and sometimes things are controversial because we're trying to, prevent things from happening, or we're trying to make sure we understand what kids are saying. So the latest thing our middle school sent out was 450 words and trends and different emojis. I tell you what, you get looking at that and you just know these kids are talking in a different language. But it also talks about how to help your child build a social media resume of sorts, because universities, places of business, they're looking at what our kids have on their social media. So how can we actually use that to benefit them if they're trying to be looked at by universities, post-secondary places, maybe for scholarships? How to use AI effectively. We're starting a lot of work making sure our roadmap, our guidelines are in place for this generation. But as parents, we don't always understand what AI programs are out there. There is a lot of benefit to a lot of those things. So if they can hop onto live trainings, but they can also go in and look at just hours of useful things that they might be interested in. And so getting that account's the first way, though.
Is this a free program for parents to sign up for?
It is for parents for 1 year. So I keep saying make as good of use of it because the school district paid for it for this 1 year.
Okay, so take advantage of it
Yes,
while it's there.
yes.
The link is at the district's website.
It is, and I had it in my the superintendent newsletter that we've started from the district office. I believe it's in the September one. Otherwise, yes, it is right on the district website.
Okay, fantastic. Only other thing I wanted to mention is best of luck with homecoming. That, of course, is
Yes.
next week.
I tell you, this high school group, they are great, and I'm just really looking forward to celebrating. I feel a bit more acclimated now being on year 3. Year 1 homecoming, I almost felt a bit, out of place. Just didn't know what I didn't know about so many things, but we're so excited. The weather is already looking pretty good. Knock on wood on that too, but we just encourage the community to come out, wear red and black for the day, support our Bobcats. It's so much more than just a day if we can get people out there to support the kids.
Yeah,
So.
football team off to a good start
They
so
are,
far.
yeah.
And
A lot of our fall teams, I think people sometimes, it's hard to know all the things going on, but Mr. Dvorak sends things out every week. The Bobcat backers do. Our fine arts, man, they got held up. Our band got held up last weekend in the cities. I felt terrible, but man, they're just phenomenal too. Get out and watch them. All of the things our students are doing while also being, academic students. It's just really great to watch.
yeah, for those who don't know, the band had a bus breakdown. They were gone for more than 24 hours.
Oh, I tell you, if it was going to happen on that trip, it happened. And it was with our bus that was only 2 years old. And so
no.
I can't even say that so we were having some bad luck there, but, the kids probably were fine. It's us adults who really felt terrible about it.
Well, it sounds like they all handled it very well, so
They did.
hats off to the band and the band director and all the band boosters who were part of that as well.
Absolutely. It's amazing how many of those adults at the game last Friday night when our band performed, the amount of adult participation, I just, you really have to experience that. It takes a lot of people to pull those things off. So we are so blessed with those volunteers.
There's some school pride in this
There's
community.
some school pride. And I tell you what, it makes me so proud.
All right. Thank you very much for the time this week. Dr. Summer Schultz from the Brookings School District joining us here at Brookings Radio.